AccessTV.org, grassroots social media television.
AccessTV.org. Your family, your friends, we are where you are.
Welcome to Education One for another series. Before we start with my special guest, one of my last of the kids of MC Square, I like to give a shout out to a person that actually brought me in the world, taught me a lot about Native Americans, and actually he was my father. His name was Sam Cephas. If he was alive today, he'll be 102 years old. Happy birthday, Father. Now, to the left of me, we have a kid that been with me, or not a kid, a young man now. He grew up from a little tot to a young man now. His name is Marcus Harris. He's actually from Boston area, or the Massachusetts area. But why he's so unique, he started within media and communications at CCSU, and he's developing his own business right now in media and communications. And we're going to hear a lot about it this morning. Welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you, Sam, and happy birthday to Mr. Cephas as well.
Thank you. We've been together for quite a while, and I've watched you grow.
Yeah.
Now you, to me, are a big shot now. You know,
not yet.
You're doing well in school. You're at CCSU, and the school, AccessTV.org, MC Square, and Nets has molded you in starting your own business. Tell us something about it.
Well, originally it was called SOUL, acronyms, SOUL, S, Spoken Out Loud Urban Leaders. Since then, it's been evolving. I've been creating new projects for myself individually, as well as for some people that I have within the crew. But however, the name is evolving to Souls to Soul.
Okay.
So it's more of like Spoken Out Loud Urban Leaders to the soul of the community.
Okay.
So trying to, bolster the whole value of life in the community. And that is basically the whole point of, that's my whole goal of my whole program of any type of business that I want to create is going to be to improve the quality of life and how people see the quality of life in each other. So just to start that, I have started off a few projects that I'm trying to get accomplished before the end of the year. The first project that I actually started working on, I had in mind a few years ago, and it's a poetry book.
Okay.
And it's called.
And you talked about it on the last show.
I did. And I don't think I had. I probably did have this copy of the front cover.
Right.
But it's called Shining in Darkness.
Okay.
And then this would be the front cover, followed by the next, poem. It have the description of the poem, and
illustrations and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the reason why I bring this stuff up is because this is going to be the start of Souls to Soul.
All right.
I'm essentially the first one putting myself out there, so that other people will be able to get the feel and understanding of what it is that I want people to grasp in life and how they feel. Now, all these poems. If you don't mind, I could even read you one.
Yeah, read one.
All these poems talk about, how things could have been if they happened differently, or kindness that is needed. Like I have this poem called Alternate Beginning. Okay. And I'm sure everyone wants or wonders what their life would be like if they were born into a rich family. What their life would be about if they were born into, a different country. If they were white, if they were black, if they were Asian, if they were a boy, if they were a girl.
Like a Charles Dickens story, A Tales of Two Cities.
Right. And I I actually wrote a description, and it reads like this. I've thought about how different things would be if some of the struggles I've faced never existed. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Like, for example, at the age of 4, I was hit by a stray bullet in the back of my head and pronounced dead. I was in foster care most of my life. If those things never would have happened, who or what would I be today? How much of an impact did those things have on me anyways? Did being in foster homes really humble me and create an eagerness to have a family of my own and to love to death? If I chose to be bad, really bad, would the world be able to manage? Or what if I didn't care about women and children? I would probably have at least 4 baby mothers and 6 kids by now. Who I am instead, people don't appreciate. So why should I change into a more evil person to match how I'm treated? And the poem reads as follows. Alternate beginning. What would happen if things were never the same? If I never got hit with a bullet through the brain? Would I be the man I am today? Would I even live and appreciate life in the same way? Let's rewind time and out we'll find. Come take a journey with me through the memories of my mind. At 4 years old, I never died of a tragedy. But in order for me to appreciate life the way I do, the situation had to be. If moms never had to struggle through so much pain, I'd probably make girls, some then disappear magically. No foster homes these workers taking me to. So with a hand by my gun, dying by the bullet of another one, is how you'd probably see me on the news. Getting girls pregnant by the age of 9, walking around, pants sagging, boxers bagging, talking about, man, that kid ain't mine. So much dope and smoke just looking at it will have you high for a lifetime. By the age of 21, I'm rejecting all my daughters and sons to the point when I'm 35 and ready to be back in their lives, all they want to do is run. See, now y'all look at the Joker as a horror comedy. But I took the hell he caused to Batman and Gotham's police, brought it to earth and made it a reality. Man, y'all lucky I ain't who I could have been. Stomping my foot one time would have brought the whole world to an end.
It's sort of fascinating that each year, as I see you involved, you take your craft a little bit more to another level. You're in your mid-20s, and you imagine 10 years.
Late 20s now.
Well, no, because the thing is that I look at that it takes minorities a little longer. We're not white. We don't have a lot of money. We have to work. We have to thrive. We have to go through our own struggles.
Right.
But when it comes down to the bottom line, and when we go through all that, it makes us a stronger person.
Definitely does.
And look what happened to you. You could have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
You got hit by a car. So many things happen, and so many people would have dropped out of the system.
Right.
Matter of fact, put in the system through prison. But God has looked over you and shined upon you that I wish I could do what you do. I can't. I don't try, but the thing about it is I've seen other people along the way before you got there, other kids, the 224 kids that have been before you. You're the last of the dinosaurs. The new batch don't even come close to what you're doing right now.
You're right, but I can't take all the glory for myself. You know, I definitely got to give the glory to my father first and foremost, for what my capabilities are. Before I even understood my own poetry, I was writing it like a 50-year-old experienced writer. A poem would come to me, and I would say, "Oh, I gotta get that down." You know, like, I'm thinking of this. It's just a poem. I'm writing it down, and it really didn't mean anything to me at first because it was like it's just words in my head. I'm writing it down, just like lyrics. But when I went back and actually read my poems, because I used to never edit my poetry, and I used to let it be raw, how it was. When I actually started looking back and editing, I'm like, I wrote that. I wrote that, I'm like, wow. And I'm impressing myself. And I know it's not just me, but it's also words from my father, so that we as people can come together and I can help bring them together. Now, as far as you were saying, if certain things didn't happen in my life, or other people would have made excuses for those things and, said, oh, well, I'm on drugs because I didn't have my mother in my life, or I'm smoking crack because I grew up in foster homes. But in turn, people should take all those situations and say, you know what? I strive to be a good person because I've had so many bad people in my life, and I know how it feels. I don't want to be that way to another person. If you put yourself in another person's shoes and look at their life how you look at yours, you would value everybody equally as you value yourself, and not put yourself in front of anybody, but put you on the same line, But in this world today, so many people put themselves ahead of each other. It's not treat others as you want to be treated. Nowadays, it's treat others before they can treat you bad, And so it's like, get them first. And what type of ideal is that to have?
It's a thing that when I watch young people like yourself make decisions, and I call you up a lot, and you say, oh, this is Sam, and I always try to, even though I may be down, and a lot of times I call you or call other kids up that I'm down, but I'm saying to myself, let me talk to someone that inspires me, that I see moving forward. Right now, you're having a good time. You're working, you're going to school, you're putting your stuff together. You know eventually you will get there. So when I'm down, I call you up and say, Marcus, what are you doing? And you say, well, Sam, this is what I'm doing right now. And I stop, and guess what? It helps me. You have no idea it does, because the thing is, I could go out there and brag, or Access TV can go out there and ask anyone that says, something, I know a young man that's out there that's about to do his thing. Now, this is the arts and entertainment of the Nets project that we're about to launch. Right. And this is a piece of what eventually you would be taking over that piece for me one day. Of soul to soul. So this is something that's really important to me, because right now, New England Talent Search needs someone like you.
And not only with the poetry, but also with movies, books.
Right.
I have a script that I wrote called Nice Guys Finish Last.
Okay.
And I actually believe somebody stole a copy of it last year at CCSU.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get this thing published as quick as possible so I can get it out there. I want to publish it as a book first.
Okay.
And then shop it around as a movie.
Okay.
But it was written to be a movie first.
All right.
But I think that it'll be more influential as a book first and then a movie.
That's why you got the scarf and everything right now.
I'm a writer.
All right, I'm
so
sorry.
I gotta have my scarf on.
Okay. I had to
actually, this scarf was a gift for one of my kids' parents.
Okay.
I work for CREC. The school buses.
Right.
And for Christmas, him and his mom went out shopping, and they gave me and my bus driver a bunch of gifts, and this was one of them. And I felt very special to get a gift. Before I'd never received Christmas gifts or any birthday gifts or anything from any parents, and this time it was special. But now, unfortunately, I'm off of that bus. I'm doing a special assignment in East Hartford. Okay. Working with special needs children.
Okay. All right.
It's a little more money, more hours, more responsibility, and the kids are just equally as great. So I love it.
Okay, all right. The last couple of minutes before we take a break, tell me a little bit about the movie.
Okay, well, actually, Nice Guys Finish Last is actually an excerpt from my life. With, of course, any movie has major exaggeration or minor exaggeration. A lot of this is minor exaggeration. You might read this and say, oh, this is major exaggeration. But believe it or not, a lot of this stuff has happened. Okay. Whether it was to me or someone close to me in my life. I put it in the movie. And it takes a young boy, Dante, going through middle school, coming all the way up until he eventually starts his own business. And he finds his wife through his business partner. And they start working together. In school, he's always the nice kid, always sticking up for other people. And it ends up getting him in trouble because he's trying to defend others and everything. And people are too scared to tell him that he was defending them against bullies or whatever have you. That's why it's Nice Guys Finish for Life, Bullied for Life. I'm sorry, Nice Guys Finish Last, Bullied for Life. Okay. So it's a family movie, and it's a staple against bullying. So it's meant to be that in itself, as well as a message to adults. So that's why it's a two-part titled.
Well, you grew up in Beantown, so Beantown rough, man. In Dorchester and Roxbury.
It is.
It's no joke up there.
It definitely isn't. And it's funny because that they call it the city of brotherly love.
Right.
And I mean, as long as you don't step on nobody's toes, you'll get brotherly love. But you look at somebody the wrong way, and they're gonna say, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
Right.
And I say, "Oh, sorry, brother. I just want to say hi." Like, "Oh, okay," and keep walking.
Right.
But it's like so many people have egos. Oh, what you looking at? I'm looking at you. And then starting some beef.
Right.
So, but just ignore the situations. And I mean, I'm still here.
Yeah,
My brothers are still here. My sisters are still here.
Right.
And we all grew up in Boston.
Exactly.
So we know how to maneuver through the city and how to act and whatnot. And apparently, so do the rest of the people in Boston.
We're going to take a break. I got some bills to pay. But we'll be right back to second half of Marcus Harris. We're going to see how he's going to become actually the singleton, or actually the big producer of our generation. Thank you. I'll be right back. Welcome to the second half of Education One. We have Marcus Harris, a CCSU student, and we have actually a potential person who's going to start his own business within the media and communications world. Like I said, he's probably going to be the next Sarkozy or somebody out there that is a big shot, that is actually going to be someone that is in the movie business. Just keep an eye on this young man. You never know what's going to happen years from now. Marcus, let me coming back to you towards your movie aspects.
Yes.
How are you building this? What are you doing? And who are you seeing to trying to actually get this stuff up off the ground?
Well, literary, I have some English professors from Capital as well as CCSU.
Okay.
Looking at my work and helping me edit it.
Okay.
As well as trying to tell me the best routes to go.
Okay.
To get it published.
Okay.
And right now that's where I am in that stage. Now the next thing is I gotta find out how much it's gonna cost, get an estimate, and make sure I have the right publisher to get publicity out there for my projects. Otherwise, it'll be a wash, because if I don't make anything off of this, then it's gonna be pointless.
So it's going to be a short story type of thing that you start in the beginning.
Short story, long story. I mean, I guess how you would gauge it and how it comes out. I mean, it's fairly long written as a script now.
Right.
But as opposed to some scripts, it might be shorter.
Right.
So, I do want it to basically be kind of like a short story. It's more of nonfiction than fiction.
Okay.
And it is reality. It is a reality book. So instead of reality TV, you guys can read a book and still get your reality in there. But it does, like I said before, it does take you from one child's life as a young kid, and myself. I said I grew up in foster homes, and that's where it starts, in foster homes.
Some people would be embarrassed to say that. Some people would be.
And I used to be. Right. I did. I used to never want my foster, especially when I lived with white families.
Right.
I never wanted them to drop me off at school. I never wanted any of my friends to come to the house because I didn't want them to know that I was a foster kid. But at least with living with a black family, I was able to blend in, or even with a Dominican family or Hispanic family, because yo puedo hablar español un poco.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I could blend in with them, and it was easier. And so I could say, oh yeah, this my uncle. Oh yeah, that's my grandfather. Oh yeah, that's So it was easy. But in the white family, I'm like, oh, people was looking at me before I could even say anything. So I was embarrassed in a way to say that I'm in a foster home, even with the black families and the minority families. I just wanted a sense of belonging. And it's like once people know, oh, that's their foster child, then in their minds, they start to divide you from everybody else, from your own foster family, from your friends at school. You're different. Everybody sees you as different. once they know you're a foster kid.
You see my family. My family's mixed. And I'm proud of it because the thing about it is, when I grew up in New York, I grew up with everyone. I grew up with the Italians, I grew up with the Irish, I grew up with the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, grew up with everyone. When I moved here, it became a different story. I felt a little bit like you, but after a while, I embraced it. Because the thing about it is, those are the people are supporting you, and guess what? There's really no color barrier. How I look at it. Now, there's prejudice out there, but that depends who you deal with.
Definitely.
You know, so right now, I mean, Access TV started with a mixture of different people. It wasn't no color. It's that they believed in this one guy's vision. Well, look where he is now.
Right.
So this is something why I embrace what I do, and actually the owners of this particular TV station is the same thing. But you have to be in the right place at the right time, and you got to be sort of blessed. And I know that you're a blessed person because all what you've been doing over the years I've been knowing you, every year you come with a different twist and say, hey, Sam, I'm looking at this. Hey, Sam, I'm doing that. Hey, Sam, I'm not idle. Hey, Sam, you know, I may leave school, but I'm going to find a way to stay in school. We've been through all the trials and tribulations. Now it's just to get to the finish line to get where you have to be.
Exactly.
Now, what else are you about to do this coming year that you're planning within, you're going to be planning any film festivals or any forums, or what you're going to be doing?
Well, actually, I might. I'm talking to a few people, like Russ down to Russell.
Okay.
But I'm trying to make it more of a bigger event. I want to do a couple of readings.
Okay.
And get a crowd there. I know the Russell is more of a cozy venue, and it would be perfect for a reading. You know.
Okay.
Whether we do one chapter or a few chapters, you know, there's 5-6 people, you know, can stand up there with a mic or have some seats up there and have a reading going on up there, just to gauge people's reaction. I already had at least 5 people take a look at the script, tell me what they thought about it. I let them read halfway through it, then I took it away from them for a few days, and they came to me and they said, when are you going to let me finish the rest of that script? I need to finish it. It's so good. I don't know what's happening next. And that was the point. I wanted to see how much they would need to finish it, how much they would want to keep going, you know.
If it's any good or not.
Exactly.
Right.
And they did have that eagerness to say, oh, I can't believe I don't have, some people say, can I take it home with me? No, you know, cannot take it home with you. But, you know, and I felt really good off of the reactions I got. So I do plan on, I have a few more ideas written already for more movies. But with the money that I do gain from these movies is where I tend to start helping build my foundation for Soul to Soul, as well as continuing with Nets.
Okay.
So with that being said, if you don't mind, I would like to, you know, maybe read an excerpt out of the script.
Hey, you're here. This is your platform.
Okay. And let's see here. So that's the last page right here. Put that on the back. Now, this excerpt I'm going to read to you is from a scene where Dante who's the main character.
Right.
It's Act 2.
Okay.
It's 10 years later, the college years.
Okay.
And it's when Dante is with his love, Catherine. You know, they live together. And he does everything for her.
Okay.
She's been going out, you know, they live in a different city than where they're both originally from. They're both originally from the same city. So she's been going to visit her family back and forth throughout the years, and he does so every so often. But he's, you know, trying to find a job, just finishing college, you know, his master's and everything, and as well as working and helping her out. And I didn't mention if she has a job or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to put that in there. But he basically supports her in every way. Okay. So, you know, she's going off and, you know, then he finds out a secret about her that he didn't know for the 7 years he was dating her. For how long? So Dante wakes up next to his girlfriend of 5 years. 5 years. Catherine, who tells him she's going to visit her family tomorrow. Here's Catherine. Good morning, babe. Dante. Morning, love. What are you packing for? Catherine. I'm going to visit my family tomorrow. I told you about this. Dante. When? Because you definitely didn't. Catherine. Yeah, I did. You just probably forgot. You should come with me and visit your mom. You haven't seen her in a while. Catherine, you know better than anyone I can't do that right now. I have my finals and I can't just take off work like that. By the way, babe, I need $150. For what? I just need some spending money, babe. You know you're lucky I love you. Grab my wallet out of my pants pocket over on the floor. Catherine picks up the wallet and takes $300. Thanks, babe. Yeah, well, I got to get ready for class. Okay, well, I'm going to meet Brandy. Have fun at class. Okay, be safe, young lady. Love you. You too. Catherine leaves. Dante starts getting ready for school. In class, teacher writing on the board, student takes notes. So you see here, she's getting ready to go visit her family. So, skipping a few scenes. Morning, Kit Kat. Dante goes to kiss her, but she moves. Don't good morning me. Okay, what's wrong? You're selfish. That's what's wrong. What the heck did I do? I set up a whole surprise party just for you. It's what you didn't do. Okay, then I did not. Okay, then what I did not do for you to be mad at me? I simply wanted you to give me a back massage last night after the party because I had a long trip. I just went to bed. And that's why you're mad at me? Are you serious? They started arguing while heading downstairs. Dante remembers some of his friends slept over who were too drunk to drive and had slept in the living room, including the cabbie. Now, I'm going to stop right there, okay? Now, you guys do not have any clue what is going on because I purposely skipped around to certain parts. Now, in the scene that I skipped,
Okay.
Catherine leaves to go to whatever location she's going to.
Okay.
And usually she calls Dante to pick her up from the bus station or the airport when she gets back. However, on this occasion, he's setting up the party, he's surprising her, he's calling everyone when she leaves, her friends, his friends, they're all coming there. So then, they're partying, and he gets there. And she comes to the house, and she's got a ride from, he assumes it's a cab driver. So he says, cab driver, thank you, for dropping my girl off and bringing, you don't got to leave, you can just stay and party with us. So they bring all the bags inside and everything like that. So they're partying all night, and this is what happens the next morning. They start to argue. She starts an argument with him. And the reason why she starts an argument with him is because she really does not want to be with him.
Okay.
The cab driver, who we assumed was a cab driver, was actually her baby father.
Okay.
Of 7 years. They've been together 5 years. She never told him she had a son. So it goes into further details of what happens next between the cabbie and between Dante, because the cabbie slept over. He didn't think it was a cabbie. He was trying to be a nice guy.
So what you're saying that the whole thing is that the next episode or the next section, I have to bring you back within the next few months to find out what happened.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, that's not bad. That's basically what we're here for.
Yes.
But other than that, you had other people read this.
Yeah.
What did other people say about this?
They loved it.
Okay.
I thought it was great. I asked them. I said, so if I printed this out, and would you buy a copy? And they was like, yeah, definitely.
This is like a short story. It's like a sitcom. Not reality, a sitcom that is actually that, to me, is like watching Dallas.
Kind of, yes. Yes.
Like last night I saw the Dallas thing, and it's like it keeps going on and on and on. So it goes into different families, different relationships, and it just keeps moving on. There's a black and white situation, could be. There's kids involved. There's a lot of moving pieces of this thing.
And there's actually a sequel I already was thinking of to this movie,
right,
or this book,
right,
to keep it going, sort of like the Harry Potter thing,
right.
But and it can take so many different steps,
right,
after the final scene, because it leaves it open for anything to happen,
right.
And that's how I want to keep all of my books, all of my movies,
right,
is so that the reader or the viewer will never know which way it's going. They'll always be surprised and always be like, okay, what's next? And always be on the edge of their seat, waiting and wanting for that next to come.
So you want to be like a Hawthorne or a Robert Frost type of guy?
No, I want to be like a Marcus Harris type of guy.
Okay, all right.
Different than all the other rest.
All right. So you want to be a great black writer?
Yes.
Well, that's not a bad thing because, in Black History Month, which I wish I got you on in February, but we couldn't. Society really didn't really talk about the great writers. We talking about, Jersey Johnson and Muhammad Ali, Satchel Paige, number 42, Jackie Robinson, but we really don't talk about the writers.
But have you ever noticed that when they do talk about Black History Month, it's like being recycled. They talk about the same black figures every year for 1 month.
Right.
For 1 month.
Right.
Every year.
Right.
But there's so many more
talent.
black influential people.
Right.
There's enough for one for every day for the next 20 years.
Exactly.
So why is it that we can't expand our knowledge or our information and talk about more than just Martin Luther King, who was very influential?
Right.
Harriet Tubman, who was very influential.
Right.
But they weren't the most influential.
Right.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this whole thing is that when we look at people like yourself that's up and coming, it takes, I think, either a full lifetime or after you're dead to recognize someone like yourself. But that's just the way the nature of the beast is.
And I don't want to be dead before I'm recognized.
Exactly.
But if I am, that'll be my legacy.
But the thing about it is, you have great stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. Please don't stop. I'm not going to have you stop. I know Access TV is not going to have you stop. We're going to have you back in a few months. We're running out of time. Every time we get to this level, I feel sad because we always run out of time. But it's a great thing that you're here. And, I'm going to tell you right now, next year is graduation day, right?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. So we got a year and a half, so we have to celebrate on this station.
Okay,
right?
definitely will.
As we say every Tuesday, we're out of time, but if it's Tuesday, it's Education One. I'll see you on the internet. God bless. See you next week. Bye-bye.
At Hartford Public Schools, we care about one thing above all, the future of our kids. That's why we're dedicated to providing all students with the knowledge and skills needed in the new global culture. Hartford Public Schools is thriving. More student success stories, more world-class facilities, more university and corporate partnerships, more amazing talent coming and staying in Hartford. This is how education is supposed to work. Welcome to Hartford Public Schools, where the future is present.